guests or concerned?
No concerned citizens, no, sir.
Sir? Yeah.
No, sir.
So now we'll go to consent items. Anybody have any question about any of the consent items?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Business items, we have our tax assessor here, Norman Kennedy.
Sir, good morning.
Good morning.
Mr. President, members of the board, and all viewing today. I am here to present the 2021 tax roll and discuss the assessed value captured in Madison County. The tax rolls are made available online via the county website. And to my left on this wall, the bound hard copy of the tax roll is available for inspection purposes. As required by law under Mississippi Statute 273581, I have prepared all necessary documents and filed them timely with the clerk of the board, including required affidavits to be completed for each roll. At this time, I would like to pass out a summary page and discuss the changes in assessed value from 2020 to 2021 for each class of property.
Thank you there, Mr. Tax Assessor.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Hey, you, how you doing?
If you'll look at the first two categories, I'll discuss. These are determined by the tax rolls maintained by the tax assessor's office. Number one, the first category, real property, has both class 1 and 2 combined. Madison County currently has an overall true value of $10,760,735,372 and an assessed value of $1,288,477,730 in this category. This represents around a $273.5 million increase in true value, or a $28.4 million increase in assessed value from the board-approved 2020 roll. While many factors contribute to the total assessed value of real property, some changes that occur year to year that fuel the growth we have seen in the county are the platting of new subdivisions and new construction. For 2021, we added 665 new residential homes to the tax roll. In Class 3, which is the next category, that's personal property. Personal property currently has a true value of $1,618,048,418 and an assessed value of $242,710,550, which represents a decrease of approximately $35.2 million true value, or $4.9 million of assessed value from the 2020 tax roll. Just to discuss that a little bit, in recent years, Class 3 personal property has consistently seen an increase in assessed value from year to year, but this year, this category was more vulnerable due to the pandemic, and the economic factors contributed to this decrease. We observed that reported inventories were significantly lower this year, and the decrease in assessed value due to closed businesses was higher than it has been in recent years. The values from the next two categories I will discuss are determined from reports provided by the collector's office, which are based on collections over the previous year. Class 4, public utilities, assessed value are set by the Department of Revenue each year. The assessed value is currently $53,458,000 $43,286, which is a $2.5 million increase over the 2020 assessed value. In Class 5, the assessed value from the tax collector's report for automobiles and mobile homes is $302,617,410, which is a $23 million increase over the assessed valuation from last year. The total true value for the is $13,569,817,500, and the total assessed value is $1,886,848,976. The total true value has increased by approximately $324.4 million, and the assessed value has increased by approximately $49 million since the 2020 tax roll. That reflects a 2.7% rate of growth for the overall assessed value from 2020 to 2021. Madison County's 5-year growth rate currently sits at 3.13% for the overall assessed value. The tax roll currently includes 55,663 real property parcels, of which 39,535 are assessed with improvements, and 4,514 personal property accounts. We processed 3,512 homestead applications between January 1 and April 1 of this year. We currently have a total of 28,142 homestead accounts. I would like to thank my staff for all of their hard work. As you know, this has been an interesting year or year and a half, and we've had to adapt a lot, and they have worked extremely hard, and I'm proud of them, and I really appreciate all of their effort. At this time, I would like to thank the board for your time today and allowing me to present the tax roll, and I'd like to thank the citizens of Madison County for trusting me and my administration with the responsibility of preparing this tax roll. I'll answer any questions that you may have.
Mr. Norman, tax assessor, we appreciate you coming up. Real good numbers. And as you're going through them, would you just take maybe just 1 minute to explain each one of the classes that you just named off at the very top?
Sure.
We had and if you would, when you do, over the very right-hand side, you have a plus or minus percentage. If you would, just say this is what we grew or this is what we didn't.
The first column is Class 1 and Class 2 real property combined. Class 1 are all owner-occupied properties. Class 2 would be your commercial properties, your rental properties, and industries, and so forth. In that category, we had a positive 2.3% growth in the countywide. Class 3 is all the personal property accounts, anything from small businesses to Nissan, all of their equipment and such. And we had a negative 2% countywide for personal property. And as I mentioned, we just had some interesting things take place that we have not seen in recent years, and that's due to, a lot of that was due to inventory accounts being down. Class 4 are public utilities. As I mentioned earlier, those numbers are provided to us by the Department of Revenue, and we had a positive 5% growth countywide in that category. And Class 5 are automobiles and mobile homes, and we work off a report provided by Ms. Kay Pace, Tax Collector's Office, and we had a positive 8.2% countywide in that category. And overall, countywide, we were up from last year with a 2.7% growth rate.
Thank you, very much so. And again, the numbers are excellent. They're good, very good for Madison County or anywhere in the state of Mississippi. They would be good. And we appreciate your work as well, and also the tax collectors as well, because I know she's a big part of this as well, of that office is. Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you. We have on the agenda Norman, U, and K. I think that's to discuss the situation with the building and space that you all.
Yes, sir. Before we get to that, can we get a motion? I don't know if anybody has the motion to approve, to accept the tax rolls as presented.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Need to read
Thanks,
this.
Norman.
Thanks, Norman.
Sir? Yes.
Yeah,
The one who made the motion.
Just don't have too many big words in it. Motion to acknowledge receipt of the real and personal property tax rolls for 2021 for Madison County. 2, adopt and enter the July order to further authorize the equalization process to be conducted at each and every board meeting in the month of July 2021, conducted hereafter, to establish August 2nd, 2021 as the date the board will entertain and consider objections to said rolls, set said date as the deadline for the filing of written protest with the clerk, and advertise the same in the Madison County Journal for August 2nd, 2021. Said rolls to be available for public inspection in the boardroom of the Chancery and Administrative Buildings to accept the assessor's affidavit of the personal roll and the assessor's affidavit of the real roll, as well as the draft recapitulation sheet. That's the motion.
Motion.
And that was
Seconded
second
by
by
Paul.
Paul. Pass that down here.
And voted on? Yes, sir. And voted on? We're gonna vote?
I thought we voted.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now we vote.
Thank you.
We voted on the mini version of
Oh,
that
okay.
motion. All right. Okay,
All right, now to the building.
yeah.
Hey, would you like to come up? I don't know if this will be helpful or not. I put this together quickly yesterday, some numbers and
Thank you.
noted items to consider.
Okay.
I'll be glad to answer any questions y'all have. You still have them? Yeah, it is. I'll discuss the concerns, starting with the parking at the current facility in Madison. I know Tim's been working hard trying to get additional parking in for us there. But as you all know, we're growing. You know, the county's growing rapidly. You just heard the numbers we presented. And along with growth comes need and need for change. And needs for vehicles and needs for additional employees. And, you know, looking at the big picture, I know the board has performed studies or had studies performed and is looking at, you know, 10, 20, 30 years out and how we can accommodate all of the citizens or taxpayers in Madison County properly. And if you look at the document, I was looking at the parking lot while I was working over the weekend preparing for this presentation, and started counting parking spaces and counting vehicles. And when you look at the numbers here in the first category, you know, I've got, between my office, my staff, the fleet vehicles, the tax collector's vehicle, and her employees, we pretty much fill up the current parking lot. We've got 40 spaces, 2 being handicapped of those 40, and we've got a total of 34 vehicles. So that doesn't allow much open parking for the public. And, you know, I mentioned the pandemic earlier. Things have changed at our office and the way we're having to function and how we allow people in and out. And it was really difficult processing the 3,500 plus homestead applications out of one entrance with no parking in the freezing cold and in the rain and on and on and on. So things have changed at that location. I think it's busier than ever. Our numbers are up in that category. We've got more people trying to get in and out. We did open up the teller stations, which, you know, worked out and until we got backed up and we had cars out into 51, which was a major concern for safety. So that speaks for itself right there, just the parking and the flow of how we are set up in that office. I mean, I personally have upstairs employees sharing office space at this point in time with limited facilities as far as restrooms and things like that. You know, we're just going to have some additional space and how we go about doing that. I guess that's why we're here today, to discuss it. But you can look over this document and look at some of the notes I made and my concerns, and Kay's welcome to come up and speak as well. But, you know, another thing just to mention, and I have no problem saying this, I think Kay would agree, we're in there combined and someone enters that facility and they don't know who they're seeing, and that's just not right. I mean, we're both elected officials. They need to be able to determine whether they're seeing the assessor or the collector. And I think you all would agree with that. So, Kay, you can come up if you would like, and I'll be glad to try and answer any questions y'all may have.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? Okay. Thanks, Norm.
Thank you.
I'll share that with you as
You
well.
share that with me, okay.
But I believe y'all have, the board hired someone to look at designing a new facility, or I know you've looked at land and things like that. So I do appreciate y'all trying to work with us, but now is the time to really focus on this. And if I need to meet with anyone, I'll be glad to do it. But I think we do need to work towards a new setup as a whole.
Mr. Tax Assessor, you have brought this to our attention the last several years, actually, and you're right. We are moving forward. You know, hopefully we'll discuss property today, you know, for a new building, and because we know that y'all have brought it to our attention several times as far as being very crowded and not the space that you need to be able to continue to do your work properly. The way Madison County is growing, as you have indicated and actually have shown us this morning again with the numbers that we are continue to grow. And so it is on this board to, you know, to look at trying to move forward to give y'all that space that you need and that you're asking for. Very much so. So, but we have been working on it, and hopefully we'll move to another step today and giving some relief.
These numbers on the parking lot, Norm, are these the numbers that been added, or where we at, Tim, on adding parking places to that to their location now? Have we added them already?
We have not.
It's currently under construction.
It's under construction. We started out and we ripped everything out and it was really wet, so we let it sit for a little while. And then when it got dry, all our contractors got busy doing other things, so we're having to wait in line to get our curb and gutter contractor. So hopefully he will be there this week. If he's there this week, I can get paved next week, and we'll be having them parking in there in 2 weeks. 3 weeks.
Approximately how many of that gonna add?
That's 21 spaces,
Added.
21 added spaces, yes.
Ain't much, but better than what it be.
Yeah.
We maximized the room we had over there. I don't think we could have gotten many more in.
All right, I guess we moving forward already, Norm.
Well,
It's
we
just
are,
the
and you know,
will of the
and I
government.
appreciate the effort towards a new parking lot, but again, I think with the long-term vision for the county and to be able to service, you know, things properly and provide proper service for the taxpayers, we need to look at the big picture as we talked about. That's a short-term fix, I
Yeah,
believe.
yeah.
Okay.
And Norman, the people in the south part of the county like having an office down there, right?
Yes, that office, out of, just for example, I've talked about numbers, the 3,520 applications we processed, that's interacting. We have to have certain information collected, interact face-to-face. That office probably processed, I would dare say, 27 to 2,800 of those applications. So that's a good indicator of how much activity we have at that office. And, you know, I mean, it showed with Kay's setup as well, with the constant traffic just backed up, trying to pay taxes where we collect and everything else. So it's only going to get busier.
Yeah,
Right.
that's true, 60-some%. That's pretty significant. Okay, anybody else have any comments?
Well, I did have one question. Are we, as far as online, what can we do online in Madison County now as far as, can we pay our taxes online?
You can pay your taxes online. You
Okay.
can renew your license plate. Every so many years, the state reissues license plates, and
Okay,
can't do that online.
okay,
But everything else can be done online.
thank you.
I know, it gonna come to a money deal when we looking at building a new facility. But I'm hoping we don't build a facility and it be too small by the time we get it up. So that's something we might need to look at.
Oh, yeah. We definitely have to look at, I mean, we're growing, and the need we see obviously is in the south part of the county, where we have the most interactions going on. So we definitely have to build a facility large enough that it can also be there and be active for a good little while. I think that we're in our second building in the south right now in the last, 35 years. So we've had to constantly try to move and keep up with the growth. So we need to go ahead and do something real about it, that we won't be just building one building and then have to build another one. Okay.
Supervisor Griffin, that's a very good statement, because when this building was purchased in 2012, it was actually too small then. It was actually too small at that point for these two offices.
Yeah.
And so I know that we've been working this past year and with the tax collector, and as far as a design of a building, and I believe that design has been done. It's just a matter now where we're going to put the building, and hopefully that discussion will be today as well, in probably executive session. You know, so. But anyway, that's a good point, making sure the building is not too small to where this board will have to come back in 8 years and revisit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you all.
Okay, thank you, and thanks for giving this consideration.
Okay.
All right.
The next would be our engineer.
Good morning.
Good morning.
First item I have for you is the final plat of Herons Bay of Caroline. It's a development of approximately 31 acres, 84 lots. We do have the letter of credit for the final surface on this.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
All right, on June 29th, we received bids for the McCullough Road Bridge Rehabilitation Project. The Engineering Department recommends that the board approve the contract with the low bidder, Key LLC, for $146,197.50.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
All right, and as you'll remember, the board asked Neil Schaefer to come back with a proposal to the county. We have for you today for a fee of $43,500.
No, what, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
What is this, what?
This is the transportation study. If you'll remember, we did this, I don't know, 6 years ago now when everybody first came into office. And what we did was we prioritized areas that we needed to look at doing improvements. For instance, Weisenberger was on there, Gluckstadt Road was on there. And so it's been long enough that we feel it's necessary to reevaluate that and see what we need to do countywide as our next step in our transportation improvement plan.
Okay.
And so today you're asking us,
To approve the contract to do that with Neil Schaefer.
I make a motion for approval.
Okay, it was simultaneously motions and
I'm
seconds.
sorry. Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
When do you think they'll have this back?
I will check and let you
Okay.
know.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Oh, Tim.
Tim.
Give us
Tim.
a,
Oh, okay.
give us a public date on pushing those trees on the Weiss.
Okay. We've been waiting on C-Spire to move their line, and they had some internal issues that they've corrected, and they're out there now moving the line. And there's going to be some kind of swap over happening at midnight, 2 nights this week, where they're swapping from one fiber line to the other. And once they get the new fiber line taken care of, we'll be able to push all those trees out of the way. And our project to actually grade the road after that bids this Friday, and we'll bring that before the board on the 19th.
Okay. Thank you.
Tim,
We'll go.
go.
Hold a minute, Tim. It was brought to my attention that Stanley Beasley, Kansas Housing Authority Director, is here that needs to speak to the board about something that deals with roads and
Yeah.
Tim,
Okay.
we need your assistance too. Come
All
on,
right.
Stan.
Good morning.
Morning.
What I come to speak to you all about, thank you for taking my comments here. I'll be extremely brief. There's a road there called Mace Street where you all assisted us in building the property called Wood Creek, where we redeveloped Frey Lane Apartments and put the townhouses right behind it, that nice development there.
Yeah.
We had bought that property with the impression that May Street was a street that was either owned by the county or owned by the city of Canton. It's come to our knowledge that it is not owned by the county, and we think it is a prescribed road because when we developed our road plan with the city of Canton, that was the direct route that they gave us to take. We placed the bond on that particular street. So what we're asking is, and I talked to Supervisor Griffin, is that we think that is a prescribed road. We don't know if there was language in your minutes, spread across your minutes to determine if that road was prescribed. We do need access for police's use access, fire's use access. My understanding is the meter readers, everybody uses access to that route. The current owners want to close the road right where it ends. I guess where the city limits end, they want to close the road off. And we were under the impression that was a prescribed, or that, actually we was under the impression that it was city road, a county road. But we're not sure. So I wanted to speak to the engineer to determine if it can be prescribed, what language would you need? That would cause us severe impediments if that road is closed. For fire, police, county access, anybody needs to get back in there to service any issues that may come about.
Tim?
I'll have to do some research.
Okay.
Okay.
I can't give you an answer right now. This is news to me.
Yeah, I know the road, and I can't believe anybody would be wanting to close the road. It's been using that road there for, heck.
Where's this place exactly?
I have a map. It is north on May Street.
North
Holmes Avenue.
Where?
northwest of Canton.
It's
I mean,
right-
in northwest.
You can't
portion of
tell
Canton.
whether it's in the city or
Yeah.
out of the city.
Yeah.
It's so close. Just to add a little to, Mr. B's comment, ever since that apartment complex been there, that been the way
Yeah, I
in.
did on that map. But if you have one, look.
Over the years, road department had took out trees. The sheriff's department, I myself patrolled those apartments. And we went in, made the circle, ran folks off the street,
In what
came out.
form?
So if it ain't a county road, by
How did y'all
deed, it's by prescription, because we've been using it for what, 30, 35 years?
40. 40. That road was there when,
Before they built the apartment, right?
the year before they built those apartments.
But the house was there, yeah.
Yeah,
Tim, can you get with Andy and y'all get this straightened out?
yeah,
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I'll take a look at it.
yeah, see if we can do it that way. And then bring it back before the board in 2 weeks so we can,
You on a time restraint, Mr. B?
No, I don't think we're on any time. That was annexed into the city
yeah.
as well now. So it's a city problem now, but I think if we get the prescription, because my understanding is that the county, sheriff department still use that road as an access back to that property, to get in there. And then we will present to the city as well, now that it is a city annexed property, so, we will present to them, but we thought we'd start this route because we knew you guys were using the prescription to go back there for years.
What
and
you
we-
might get from the county, and correct me if I'm wrong, you might not get nothing that's black and white on paper.
Okay.
This is like probably 90% of our roads in the whole county. It's just a prescriptive road that we've been using and working it for decades.
Right,
And it becomes basically our right of way.
that's right.
How long has that road been there?
Ooh,
Many years?
since probably the early 80s,
Okay.
when that property was built.
I think they put that road in there somewhere around 84, 85.
Are we talking about what,
The loop.
30 yards or less?
30 yards or less.
Yeah, it's not much. They put it in there for the purpose of when they were gonna build those fourplexes.
Okay,
Before then, it wasn't there. But they put it in, county maintained it, and that's been it. And that was about 85, I would say.
Okay.
And then they built the apartments around 87, 88. Somewhere in there. Okay.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Tim.
Thank you. Okay, back to the agenda items. Tim, have you finished with everything?
I'm finished with everything I had.
Okay, I got something for you to take and read.
Stump Ridge Road Bridge. They working on it.
Stokes Road Bridge.
They working on it
They
too.
finished Stokes Road Bridge, haven't
They're working on that today too. They should be finished this week. They're getting close.
they? I thought we were close on that. Okay.
Okay, I'll take a look at this one.
Take a look at that,
Okay.
see what you can do. Okay, Scott Weeks, Planning and Zoning.
Mr. President, Board of Supervisors, good morning.
Morning.
The first item I have, number 47, Radco Construction. This was a variance on setbacks. It's in Bridgewater Loop, 151, Lot 989 of Villas of Bridgewater. It's in Supervisor District 4, was approved May 20th, 2021 by the Planning Commission.
That's the variance?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion to go ahead and approve it, but in the future, I wanna make sure that the homeowners association is contacted and given an opportunity to say yes or no, even though
Second.
we took care of that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes, sir, duly noted. Number 48, Makita, this was rezoning the A1 to C2, northwest corner of Highway 17, Sulphur Springs Road, Supervisor District 5, approved May 20th, 2021 by the Planning Commission.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Next item, number 49, Madison County Schools. It's rezoned to R1 to SU1, located on Mansdale Road, Supervisor District 2. The site plan for the new school is included. If you have any questions, Richard Bird with Madison County Schools is here.
Okay.
Motion.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Next item is the food truck discussion. Expiration is right after the last board meeting. Bringing it back up, I still do have requests for vendors to go to churches and whatnot, so it's up to the board whether they want to waive the fees or start charging them for.
I don't have any problem with waiving the fees, but the question is are other, I'm sure the other ones are. It's going to be an unfair event. I want to waive all fees and taxes, but I don't know if I can get away with
I
that.
second your motion.
Oh, man. I'm not gonna have to pay taxes anymore?
No, that's just on the van.
I thought you said all.
Well, I mean, I don't know what.
I agree with you. I think, as far as waiving the fees, I think we passed that. I think we need to get everybody on the same equal grounds.
But I mean, this is probably detracting from our permanent restaurants, I would imagine.
Well, it does. It has to. And so basically, if there was an established fee for food trucks, then they should pay the established fee as other restaurateurs have to also. And any vendors out there should pay a fee.
What is the fee, Scott?
I can't remember off the top of my head. It's either $500 or $1,000. I can't remember
Just
exactly.
annually
Yes, sir.
or one time?
One time.
Each year.
500. I mean, we can put it at 500,000. Seems a little steep.
Yeah, it does.
Guys, y'all remember this was put in because of the COVID.
Yes.
And the COVID, guys, is kind of moving out now.
The fee waiving was put in because of
That's right. And
whatever the fee is, all we need to do then to reestablish the fee is to go ahead and just let the
Expiration.
waiving of the fee expire.
that's right.
Yes, sir.
How do you collect the fee, Scott?
Ma'am?
How do you collect the fee?
It's just a permitting process. They come in and apply.
Got it.
You got any idea how many trucks we got out there?
I just know of like 3 right now. I think they've been doing some stuff at a couple of the churches. I think it's the one on Gluckstadt Road is where most of it has been.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm willing to go whichever way y'all want.
Okay. On the food truck discussion, expiration of waiving fees, do we have a motion to either waive
Or could we just let it expire?
Just let it expire.
or,
Okay.
what's the date on the expiration? I didn't see that.
It expired right after the last board meeting, so it's expired. I was just asking if you wanted to extend it or just.
So it actually expired the first of
Already.
July?
Yes, sir, essentially.
Oh, okay. Well, leave it on. It expires
Okay.
automatically. Next.
I have a plat amendment, Camden Ridge of Caroline,
Okay.
lots 234, 235, 236, 254, 55, 56, and 57. Supervisor District 4. I think this was a combination of like where there were 2 lots, they made 1, and 3, they made 2, so it reduced the density.
Okay. Well, I'll make the motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
All right, that's all I have. Thank you.
All right. Shelton, Banks.
Mr. President, Supervisors, I'd like to draw your attention to item number 52. You may recall that several years ago, we entered into an agreement with City of Ridgeland related to a TIF financing plan that was known as the Higginbotham TIF. In the course of this and after the issuance of bonds, we have found a scrivener's error in the original documents that were approved both by the city of Ridgeland and by Madison. Motion to correct the item and make sure that the entire parcels that were included
Make a mo-
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
local area administration associated with those, the Madison County Agricultural Committee. This is nothing more than a notice that LAA2, Local Area Administration 2 election is open. Nominations must be received by the 2nd of August, and this is just your notification. I don't think that there's any action that you need to take for that. There's a map that shows you the area that's involved. Item number 54, you may recall at last meeting, your attorney and I were you an advertisement, basically an RFQ related to professional services for administration of broadband development in the county. This is the proposed advertisement for permission to advertise.
Wait. Okay.
Okay, second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah.
Item number 55, architectural services for a firing range. You may remember a couple of meetings ago, there was a discussion about constructing a firing range out on Mount Leopard Road on some property that the county has there. To get this process started, we need to hire an architect, figure out what all we need to do and to put in. This is a proposal to hire Dale Partners.
Motion for approval.
Ronnie, is nut proton Latin?
I believe so.
I was just checking you.
Okay, Comptroller.
All right, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
The first item we have is number 56, which is the approval of the budget amendments and the interfund cash transfers.
Make a motion for approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 57 is your approval for the general claims docket.
Second. Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
And the next one is approval of the payroll docket for June 23rd.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
And lastly, number 59 is the approval of the fleet corps claim docket.
Motion.
Second. All in favor? All right.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Ronnie Lott, do you have anything?
Yes, Mr. President. We neglected to approve the 621 board minutes. I would like to ask the board please approve said minutes.
621.
Yes, sir. We just put on the agenda the 630. We need to also include the 621 board minutes.
Oh, okay, then. Can I get a motion for the 621 board?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thanks, Ron.
Thank you.
Okay, Sheriff Tucker,
Nothing, Mr. President.
old business.
I got something for Cornelius and for Andy. At Cornelius, in front of Gerald's gas station on Gluckstadt, can you weed eat that fence and mow? All the way to the county, all the way to the state maintenance sign on both sides of the road, please, sir. Okay, I got a little old business or new business.
Keep on going.
Can you get with SB and help get Gluckstadt a zip code? I think it takes congressional action or something.
Sure, I'm happy to help with that. And
We've been asked to look into that. Mr. Baxter, county's been asked to look into that.
Okay.
That's a federal, it's an issue for the U.S. Postal Service, and they basically said it's not the county business, go away.
All right, well, I addressed
Sounds like something you would get from the police.
All right.
Yeah, they got a zip code, it's 39110. Yeah. Go ahead, Paul.
One old business that first I want to make a motion that we authorize, that probably be Mike and Shelton, to bring back a resolution where we can present to Mr. Melvin Ray, to his family, for serving on the Region 8 board for so many years for Madison County. And
Motion.
Yeah. He made the motion, you make the second, all in favor?
All in favor, yeah.
Resolution for the Ray family, okay.
Next, I would like to make a motion to
We're gonna vote on that motion.
replace him with Dr. Nelson Calkin.
Facing, Melvin Ray.
The first one he made, we didn't vote on.
Resolution.
The resolution, we didn't vote on the resolution? We didn't carry the vote on the resolution, that's, there was
I got a unanimous vote on that.
you had a unanimous vote?
Yes.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
was
that-
last.
Sorry, did I
That's
miss
what I
something?
heard. That's what I heard.
Mr. President,
All right.
Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
I have another resolution I would like for us to consider voting on the new business.
Okay.
And this is, as we all know, that we're continuing to try for the RAISE grant. And we just need some language, or we'd like to have some language into our RAISE grant application that we will enter this week on it. So instead of reading the resolution, it's basically promoting disadvantaged business enterprise participation in our contract. And so I would like to put a copy of this in our minutes. I think each board member has this resolution, and it's very long and lengthy. But basically what it amounts to is it does promote, like I said, any disadvantaged business or enterprise participation in our contract as far as the building of the reunion interchange.
Okay.
So I would like to make a motion to put that, make a resolution, but also put it in our minutes, please.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, resolution is passed. So it can go with the application.
I don't know whether Ronnie has a copy. I'm just gonna give
He probably does.
him one copy.
Okay, any other new well, I think in the order is asking the Madison County Election Commission to run this
No,
new
we're gonna get
election.
to it. All right.
You'll get to that, aren't you? Good.
Mr. Banks, Supervisors, I did put this on your table. This is to hire a temporary worker to fill in about 8 weeks as a receptionist upstairs. We had an employee that moved on to another job, and I just need to use a college person for the summer.
Okay.
Also, I would like to ask you about budget hearings. Are you interested in doing those again? Would you be interested in having them on the 20th and 21st of this month?
20th and 21st.
Yes, sir.
President, that, it may be, some of us may be out
Okay.
those 2 days, but,
That is a Tuesday and a Wednesday.
Tuesday and Wednesday.
Tuesday and Wednesday.
can we consider another time instead of that week?
Tell me what your, I think the week of the 12th, which is the week before, I think the clerk is away.
I'll
that
just
week.
stay. Let's do it that week. I'll skip.
Well, I mean, I don't know that they're available either, though, so I'm
next
going to be
week.
honest with you, next week is really not enough time to get the documents together, okay? So there's really 2 issues next week. Your clerk has a conference to attend, and that's really tight for getting the documents together. So what about the 22nd or the 27th?
22nd,
20, I'm not sure, 27th?
That's a Tuesday.
I think 27th would work for me, or that week.
27 kind of works for me, but I'm 29th, I'm out of here.
You're out of here. Okay, usually we can get it done in a day, but we normally do like part of a day and part of another to total up to a day, just to make everybody's schedule. So you want to shoot for the 27th? Okay.
Yeah, I've been forgotten about that time.
Yeah.
We'll have another board
Okay.
meeting before you leave.
Yeah, we have another board meeting, might need one.
Are we supposed, do we have to go into executive session for anything? Okay, is there a second for the motion to close?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are in executive session.
I guess that's why Joey's sitting here, huh?
Yeah. Every time I see Joey, I feel like it's.
Why are we going into executive session? Why are we going?
We're gonna develop.
Yeah, go ahead and develop.